Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an update on the products that I wanted to pan in 2022. So I have 34 products that I wanted to pan, or that I talked to you guys in a video in January about wanting to pan all the products I want to pan in 2022. 34, as I was like refreshing my memory on all of these products, I was like, dang, 34 is kind of a lot. I have decluttered 3 products, finished 2 products, so that brings our list down to 29. But next year I think I'm gonna do more like 23 products I want to pan in 2023. But if you want to see my update, I should have done this mid-year style, but you know, there's always 3/4 of the way through the year. So if you want to see where I'm at in my list of 34 products that I wanted to pan at the beginning of the year, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project panning content or just chit-chatting about makeup, I would love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into the video. If you guys are interested in any of the projects I'm currently participating in, I will have them all linked down below. Go check out my project panning content. I'll be honest with you guys, I have not been keeping up with the list of products that I set out for myself, but as I went through the list, I was like, dang, I've chosen some of the products like unknowingly or not remembering that I set out to pan. Like I mentioned in the introduction, I have decluttered 3 products. One was the Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick. That went bad on me. I also just recently decluttered Milk Work. You guys will see my blush declutter coming in the next couple of weeks or so, so spoiler for that, but stay tuned. And then the third product is my Smashbox Tinted Moisturizer, and you'll see that get decluttered in my foundation declutter, which should be going up on Thursday, so spoiler for that. But I did declutter those 3 products, and then I also finished up my Tarte Maracuja Tinted Oil as well as my Erborian CC Cream. So the 2 products that I have finished on my list are both foundations. By the way, if you want to see my like original video, I'll leave that linked below. Let's start with foundations, since we're speaking of foundations. So actually, all 4 of the other foundations, well, with the exception of 1, are currently in projects. The one that's not in a project is my Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation, but I've been unofficially, but kind of officially, not really, but this was on my list, but I totally forgot. I should have set these products aside in like a separate basket, or at least kept my list more to the forefront of my memory as I'm choosing products. I'm rambling regardless. This is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I have been chugging along on this. I do believe I will finish this by the end of 2022. That's the plan, that's the goal. So hopefully that will also be an empty. I also have the Pat McGrath Sublime Foundation. This is going my Rolling Project 10 pan. This should be an empty by the end of the year as well. This has not been the most fun to pan just because I didn't love this foundation, but nevertheless, that should be an empty soon. And then my Rare Beauty foundation was something I was unofficially trying to pan all year, but I recently rolled it into my Deco Panning Project pan, and I feel like I'm a good chunk of the way through this. Although I will say, I thought I had less product than I do. I think and hope this will also be an empty by the end of the year, by the end of 2022, which would leave us with 3 more foundation empties. So that's the plan, that's the goal. And then the last foundation on this list is my Uoma Beauty Say What foundation. This is going in my Graveyard Project pan. There's just a lot of this product still left. I don't think I'll finish this by the end of the year, but I am currently and actively trying to pan it. I put 2 concealers on this list. One is my Hourglass Vanish Concealer. I've been working on this in my Rolling Project 10 pan. This is all but an empty at this point in time. I used it again today, so I just recently rolled it out of my Rolling Project 10 pan because I said I'm going to be done with this soon. I used it today and I could barely get any product out. I just want to like officially use every last drop that I can, but this is basically an empty. And then I also have my RMS Uncover Concealer. This I just rolled into my Deco Panning Project pan, I believe it was. I already have a pan on this. Goal is to finish this by the end of the year. I don't know if I'm gonna make that happen, but I really hope that I do. Let's talk about powders next. I have my Hourglass Luminous Light Powder. This already had a pan on it. I have been working on this on and off, not like consistently or not like really with any purpose. I don't think I'll finish this by the end of the year. I definitely have expanded the pan. I have reached for this a couple of times recently just to add some glowy to the skin when I'm feeling like I'm wearing a foundation that's just too matte for me, but there's still quite a bit of product up on like the corners here. This is not a product, this is a product I want to wait until the very last second to repress, or I would prefer not to repress this product just because it is a baked gelée formula or a baked formula, and I just feel like I always feel like I ruin the formula when I repress a product, but specifically with baked products, I even more feel like the formula changes. And then I totally forgot that I had added the number 7 Lift and Illuminate to this list. I have like a slight bit of a dip in this, but I rolled my Kosas Cloud Set Powder into my Rolling Project 10 pan and have been pretty much, I don't want to say exclusively working on that powder, but that's been like my focus powder of the year. So I've reached for this year, but not with any intent or purpose to pan. I don't think I'm gonna hit my goal on this. I don't even know if I would be able to hit pan on this by the end of the year, just not knowing how deep this pan is. I don't know, we'll see. Now that I'm remembering that this is on the list, when I finish my Kosas powder, I'll roll this into my Rolling Project 10 pan, but I don't think I'll finish this by any means by the end of the year. I completely skipped over primer. Whoa. I do have 2 primers that were on that list. Both I am actively working on in projects. I have the Catrice Prime and Fine Poreless Blur Primer, which is going, I think in my whole collection project pan, I'm like getting my projects mixed up, but I believe that's the project I'm working on this one in. I don't know that I will finish this by the end of the year, but I think I'll get at least halfway through the product, which will be really exciting, and then I can finish this up in 2023. And then the other one is my LYS Secure Skin Gripping Primer. This should be an empty by my October update. This is in my Rolling Project 10 pan. I'm so close to being done with this, so this should be done, definitely done by the end of the year. Up until this point, I feel pretty good about my list, but moving into bronzing products, I don't feel as confident. So I have my Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder. I already had a pan on this. I've barely worked on this at all this year. I just am not into contouring, but I can't get myself to declutter this. Maybe I need to just be like the contouring queen this fall. We'll see. I still don't necessarily know that I could finish this product up, although the product is like lifted off the pan, and I do feel like I'm like I like don't feel like there's that much powder left in this. Still don't feel like I'm gonna finish that by the end of the year. My Ilia Bronzer was the one powder bronzer I wanted to finish this year. I went into the year with this already having a pan on it. This is currently going in my Graveyard Project pan, and I have definitely expanded the pan since the beginning of the year. I don't know where we're gonna be by the end of the year. I don't know if this will be an official empty. I tend to think not, but I definitely will have expanded the pan by a significant amount. So I'm gonna take that as a win. My Tower 28 Bronzino. I didn't work on this in a project. This is not something I can see myself really reaching for all that much in the fall. More of a summertime product for me, but I did reach for it quite a bit just on its own this summer. And I feel like I have like a decent dip going. Like I feel like I have decent use on this. So I'm feeling okay about that, but that definitely won't be an empty. And then my goal was to hit pan on my Nabla Skin Bronzing in the shade Amber. I worked on this for several months this year in my Rolling Project 10 pan, and alas, I have no pan. I'm still gonna reach for this year because I love Nabla. This is one of my favorite bronzers, but it sort of feels like the end is nowhere in sight. So I don't know if we're gonna have a pan on that by the end of the year. Oh, and then I also had my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I just wanted to hit pan on the bronzer side, which I did do, so that is a goal achieved, and I'm very happy about that. Moving on to blush, the only blush I put in this project was my Fenty Cheeks Out blush in the shade Petal Poppin. I have not reached for that this much this year. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself. Kind of forgot I included this on the list. This definitely would have been more of a spring summer shade for me rather than a fall winter. That's okay. I don't think we're gonna hit a goal on this. Moving on to highlights. So I put in my Becca Rose Quartz highlight. I do want to finish this off. I already had a pan on it. I definitely have expanded the pan, but I don't want to repress this one just because I feel like I'm gonna ruin the formula. This is like one of my favorite highlighters of all time. I still want to finish this by the end of the year. I don't know if I can do it or not. I'm gonna say I can. We'll see. I also put my Dior highlight in. I recently rolled this into a project, and my goal is going to be to hit pan. That was my goal when I put this on this list as well. I don't have a pan on this yet, but I actually have this on my cheeks today, so I am using it. I think I can hit pan on this by the end of the year. I do feel like that could be a goal achieved. I also put the Vesca highlight in Moonlight on my list to hit a pan, and I did hit a pan on this. So that's a goal achieved. I do kind of want to expand the pan on this. I was using this as an inner corner highlight for my eyes. That's how I hit pan. That's why I have a little teeny baby pan. Would love to expand this pan before the end of the year. We'll see though. And then I also had, oh, my Bobbi Brown Pink Glow highlighter I wanted to finish off. I don't think I'm gonna finish this off, but I am gonna get some more use out of this. This is one of my favorite highlights as well. And this is something I reach for quite frequently in the winter time. So that's where we're at with that. The final highlighting product was my RMS Living Luminizer Glow Quad. Now I already had good usage on this. My goal at the beginning of the year was to finish this quad off in its entirety, which I don't think is gonna happen. I would love to finish like the rest of this square by the end of the year, as well as like any remaining bit in this part up here, and then potentially hit pan on this side, but I don't think I'll finish off the bronzer. The bronzing product is my least favorite in the quad. This won't be an empty by the end of the year, but I would like to still make progress on that. That was never in a project this year, but I still used it quite a bit. I'd included a brow product in my list, which I didn't even realize, but this has been like my go-to brow product. I really enjoy this. This is something I could see myself purchasing again in the future, but I do have other brow products I want to get through before I would repurchase this. And this is the NYX The Brow Glue. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but I have not that much of this product left. A lot of my product has been like stained brown because of like using it with like a tinted fibrous brow gel, and then obviously it got the fibrous brow gel tinted the color. This will be an empty by the end of the year. I am confident in that. I didn't realize that I included the Essence Metal Shot Chrome eyeshadows on this list. I have not reached for these or used these at all. So, I mean, maybe I could still have a goal of hitting pan in one of these by the end of the year. I feel like I could achieve that goal now that I remember that this is on the list. So it'll still be a goal to hit a pan on one of these. My Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in a mauve story I'm working on in my Graveyard Project pan. I don't know, because this is opaque packaging. I do feel like I will finish this by the end of the year. I haven't tried to take the stopper out yet, but I do feel like I have to dip in a couple of times when I use this on my lips, and I've used this quite a bit. So I'm gonna say this will be an empty by the end of the year. I'm bound and determined to make that happen. I think I can do it. I also said I wanted to get through as many Buxom glosses as I could this year. I have emptied out one, so that's actually a win. So I have had 3 empties technically of products on my list. I don't think I'll empty any more of these out. However, I do have a large Buxom gloss. This is the Dolly shade in, I don't know which formula, but this is what's on my lips today. I've taken the stopper out of this, and this is how much I have left. So this, I'm convinced, will be an empty by the end of the year. I'm gonna make that happen as well. So another empty, I believe. And then the final 3 lip products, I forgot I had this, and I'm so sad because this would have been like literally the perfect shade for the summer. Although I feel like this like orangey red shade could still be beautiful for the fall as well. This is the Jaclyn lip oil in the shade Ruby Drip. I have finished off 2 or 3 other Jaclyn lip oils, and they were actually pretty easy to go through and get through. So this will be an empty by the end of the year. Same with the Tower 28 lip jelly in the shade Spicy. I forgot that this was on my list, but I actually go through the Tower 28 lip jellies rather quickly when I have it on my mind to finish them. And although I also believe that this would have been a great like summer shade, I feel like I could get some great use out of this in the winter time. So I'm convinced this will also be an empty. My Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Stone, I forgot about. I don't necessarily know that this will be an empty. This is like a possibility, but this would take some good effort. So I'm not gonna say for sure, but these 2 like for sure will be an empty. So those are all the products that were on my list at the beginning of this year, products that I wanted to pan in 2022. Obviously, there are other products that I have finished off and emptied out that weren't on this list. As I mentioned at the introduction of this video, I have finished off 2 products, the 2 foundations, the Tarte Maracuja, as well as the Erborian CC Cream. I also did finish off a Buxom gloss, so I'm gonna count that as something that was on my list as well, because it was. So 3 total empties off the list of 34. And then I do believe we'll have another 3 foundation empties, which would put us at 6 empties off of the list, plus 4 lip products, which would put us at 10. My concealer would put us at 11. This LYS primer would put us at 12. The NYX brow glue would put us at 13. And then these two are really just a toss-up. The RMS Uncover Concealer, I hope, as well as the Becca Rose Quartz Highlighter. I really hope, because then I could achieve my goal, or I could empty out 15 total products off this list. There were a couple other products that I did hit pan on, and I only put them on my list to hit pan, so there have been a couple other goals achieved as well. But that is where we stand with my list of products that I wanted to pan in 2022. I'm excited to refresh this at the end of the year and pick some new products for 2023, as well as to wrap this up and kind of see what we actually did hit our goals on. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you have recently hit pan on in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel, as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.